It's vlogging time. I'm back. It's really hot outside. It is ridiculously hot. So, guys, I feel like I've been really honest about our entire journey since day one of my vlogging. Just like everything that we have faced, I have shared on my channel. I have shared just all of our trials, all of our challenges that we have faced. I have shared our joys. I have shared a lot of that. I didn't share my pregnancies. I don't think I really shared that. I don't even know if I shared photos, but that I kind of kept more like to us private. But I've shared a lot of my just words of encouragement, things to encourage your heart and your spirit. I don't live like this super perfect Christian life where, we're just used to life being so easy and, yeah, we just always get what we want. And like, we just like rarely ever face hardship. Like, our lives are literally like just one exciting adventure after another. And I'm really excited to be sharing that I am writing about it. I'm actually writing my next book, and I am completing the first book that my heart first fell in love with. And so I'm trying to tie up all of those loose ends. And there was a part I thought really needed to go in the book, but I'm discovering, I hear a little voice calling me. I'm discovering that I don't know that last part is actually going to go in the book after all, just because I really haven't felt the Lord open that door for that last little bit that I was considering to put in there. So it just may not be a part of what I thought I needed to finish the book after all. So that's kind of an answer to prayer in a good way, I think. And, the Lord decides to redirect that path and open up that avenue, then we will cross that bridge when it happens. So for now, I am tying up loose ends with that book and starting my new book, and I'm just sharing what this past season has been like, and the season that we're currently walking through, just what I really feel like God is really showing me in this season, and what he's pressing upon my heart to write about. And it's just going to be an amazing book, and I think that it's already coming together so nicely, and I'm really excited about that. Yes, we have faced some really big life challenges, you guys. Like, we have faced some things, and it's been very difficult. But I see a lot of God's goodness through the things that we have faced. And I see the hand of God even through the challenges that we've had to work through. And life is so full of challenges and tribulations. Like, we just don't get through this life without going through some things. But what I've really discovered is that when God is writing his story on your life, there comes a point of surrender, like total surrender. And you have to literally give up the pen and like hand it over. Like, you're the writer. You know what you're writing in my life, and it's okay. Like, let's struggle, be whatever it's going to be. Whatever the tribulation, let it be whatever it's going to be. It is very difficult to not be settled and to be in a place where God has given us this incredible life vision. But there's something about the God-sized vision in our life that is so far different than the original life version of what we thought we would want to do with our life, that really changes things, because there's what we would have done with our life, what our plans were, where we thought we were taking ourselves, where we thought we would go, and then there's God's plan. And God's plan looks so incredibly different than ours. And the vision that he gives us is always completely different than what we would have ever imagined for ourselves. The kids are playing in the pool, so I hear their sweet little voices playing. Man, it's been so discouraging to have had this job opportunity. It just was exciting. We were excited about this recent job opportunity. We just thought, like, wow, this is great. And we were really excited. I mean, we knew there were challenges there, but we really thought, like, these are challenges that we felt could be, like, anybody could work through them. Anyone who's smart can literally work through these issues and come to a very successful conclusion as to how things need to go and how things need to run. But, there's so much politics involved in chefing, especially when you're helping to build a restaurant, when you're helping to open. And sometimes pride gets in the way when it comes to, the owners and the chefs, and what they think they need to do, and how they believe they should run things, versus someone who has experience and knows what they're doing. And this person literally had all the money in the world and no experience. But Garrett was really hoping that, okay, I'm hoping to help this person to revamp his little hobby here and get things up and going. And there just was no meeting in the middle and no resolve. So it just ended up being what it is. And that's a disappointment. And that's okay. Disappointments happen. It has left us both feeling very discouraged. However, yes, we would love to have our own home, like, more than anything in the world. We would love that. It is very challenging. It is very, it's just not the life we would have wanted to live. It stinks not to have your own home. Like, it totally does. There's no joy in that. There's no, you can't, like, go and buy things for your own home, or, you can't imagine what it is to have your own kitchen with your own things in it. And there's a grief that comes with that, a very deep grieving, because you're not seeing any open doors. And then when a door opens and then it doesn't work out because there's so many politics at play, you just feel so discouraged. And you're, like, really praying and asking and seeking the Lord, like, God, where do you want us, and where do you want to plant us? And we're trying to be at rest, and we're trying to have a spirit that is content where you have put us, and we're trying to have good attitudes. And we're praying and we're seeking the Lord, and when you're praying and seeking God and you feel like God is just, like, silent, you sort of feel like you're just completely abandoned to that situation. And that's how we have felt. And it has been very discouraging. And it can be really hard, especially when it would be nice. And it can be discouraging when no one is speaking into your life the love and encouragement and direction of the Lord in your life, that, God is with you, and God is here, and God is for you. And, what God is in this season, and for whatever reason, you're in the place that you are without any answers or doors opening, and that can be really discouraging for the type of position that Garrett holds, and for the type of things that he's capable of doing. He cannot just take any job because he has these head chef skills that he has worked very hard to earn. And we have this God-sized vision that is, has just been really laid upon our heart, and we are trying to follow the heart of God into that direction and to be able to build that vision. And from where I am with the Lord, I have really felt this peace. Like, Lord, no matter where you place us, you are with us. And if that is all, then that is all. And then to just rest in that and to be at peace and to allow the hand of God to show himself for who he is and for what he is about to do. And sometimes we cannot perceive the hand of God and how he will move in our life. And sometimes it takes sitting with the Lord and being still and resting in his word to say, I choose not to be restless in my spirit. I choose not to be anxious in my spirit. I choose not to be angry in my spirit. I choose not to be frustrated in my spirit. I choose instead to surrender the disappointment, the frustration, the irritation, the sadness, the grief, the grieving, the loss, the losses, the tribulation that we've gone through, like to surrender all of that and say, you know what, God, I lay at your feet at the end of your day and I give it up. I give my life to you. I give up. It literally comes down to how much are you able to just lay your life before the throne of God and let him be the king of your life? And it's like, since when do we become the king of our own life to where we are in the seat of control and we are in the seat of planning our life and we are in the seat of telling ourselves where to go and what to do and when to do it? And those are all good things. But at some point, there comes a point of total and absolute surrender to the plan of God over your life, no matter where he has you, no matter how long he has you there. And if he has you there, then there's a purpose in it. Like if you try to knock down that wall, kick it down, whatever you want to do, kick and scream, and those doors are not opening, there is a purpose in the plan. There's a purpose. So what is God doing? And you have to think about it. So, okay, we're going to lay here at the feet of God and we're going to worship and we're going to sing praises and we're going to thank God and we're going to keep singing and we're just going to let our worship just permeate our hearts and our minds. And we're just going to say, Lord God, we surrender it all to the feet. We surrender it all to your feet. The everything, the vision, the goal, our lives, our life plan, our life direction. At the end of the day, we can kick and scream and talk about what we don't like, and we can talk about how much we don't like it. But if we're not looking at God, then our head is not looking in the right direction. We're actually looking down a wrong path, wanting to go in the wrong direction, instead of looking at the one who has the perfect peace and the perfect direction. And he knows exactly where he's leading us. So I choose to rest because he's my dad. So I could sit here and be fearful and anxious all day long, or be irritated that it stinks that I don't have my own home. But really, honestly, when it comes down to it, all the challenges, all the tribulations, everything that we faced, everything that you and I will face in this life, it ultimately all comes down to, what are you willing to surrender? And sometimes it's everything. Sometimes it's everything. And if it is everything, then it's everything. And you just say, God, I give up my life plan. I give up my life vision. I give up the direction of where I want to go. I give up what I want, and I want a house, and I know I can't have that, and I give that up too. I surrender that to you to have a content heart in who you are. And if it's just to be here, then it's just to be here. And let that be that. Until God gives his perfect will with the perfect direction, with the perfect guidance, with his okay on it. Honestly, there's no reason to move from where God has you if he has not given you his perfect stamp of approval on it. Like if he hasn't said okay to that thing and then you're running after it and then you're like, well, why am I wait? Well, maybe it's because there was a submissive will rather than a perfect will involved in that. And we don't want God's submissive will in our lives. We want God's will, his perfect Heavenly Father will, to just be within all and every single part of our lives. We want that. Because at the end of the day, it's God's perfect will that you want to be standing in. Not your own, not a door you had to kick down, not something that you had to run after, not something that you had a stinking attitude over because you're not happy with where you're at. At the end of the day, our hearts and our minds must be completely and absolutely surrendered to the will of God in our lives and what it is that he is doing with our lives during this time. And when we can surrender to that, there's a peace. And there's a peace because we know that God is involved in every detail and in every single movement. And there's no fear. There's literally no fear. There's just complete trust because you know that you have surrendered everything to God. And you know that he is going to take that surrender and now he's going to guide you along the path that he has intended for you to take. That is perfectly aligned with his direction for your life. And so I can say from where I'm at now, I am at complete rest in the Lord, complete trust, complete surrender. And I am excited about what it is that God is doing, because when we surrender everything, now God can show up and do what he had planned to do all along. And it's not going to be about you, and it's not going to be about me, and it's not going to be something you did, and it's not going to be something I did. Ultimately, God is going to get the glory. He's writing the story, and he knows what he's doing, and he knows how he's writing it, and he writes it perfectly.